Alright, in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to warp some text, make it arch, make it wave a little bit, and how to basically create a brand new t-shirt and merch by Amazon. So, here we go. First thing we want to do is open up Adobe Photoshop. So I've already opened up the Adobe Photoshop. Here's the size that it's going to work with. I've already turned it black. If you watch my previous videos, you're going to know why I do this. That's because I prefer to do white text on black shirts because it sells better than black text on white shirts. Obviously, when you save it, like I said, you want to uncheck this box here. This makes sure it saves with a transparent background instead of a black one. But for creating the t-shirt, we like to have the black background, that way the white text stands out, the way we can see it. So the first thing we like to do is create a new layer. From here, we're going to add a little bit of text. And doing some of my merch by Amazon research, one of the shirts I found that I like, that I think I can probably rank for, the quote was, "No box," sorry, hold on a second. "No box given." So, I've typed in the text, I've entered it in there, I've noticed it's a little small. I could either click on your text tool and change the font, or I can click on this pointer tool and hold your shift button and expand it out a little bit to fit, and then move it. That looks pretty good. I might want to go a little bit bigger, just because, like I said in previous videos, I like to maximize the amount of space that I can. That way it stands out, shows up a little bit better. So we've got a little bit of text here, but let's make it pop a little bit, you know. Completely straight horizontal text, it's okay. Some people like that, but I like to arch it just a tiny bit. So to do that, you can click on Edit. Transform, and then click on Warp. And you will be met with this little window. It says warp. Right now it says none. Makes sense. There's no warping going on. So if you click on arc, oh hey, we now have a little bit of an arc. And you notice the arch is a little bit too high from this window, so it cuts it off a little bit. You can either raise it up a little bit. I think that's too much arc for a t-shirt. So you can come in here and change the arch from maybe 99 to 39, maybe to 59, 69, 79. That's not bad. So just kind of, you have to play around with it, see what looks best for you, and maybe 89 works for me. You can also adjust the a little bit the width, or whatever, you know, whatever you want to do. Use the free transform tool. Maybe we want to make it something along the lines of that. So cool. We'll leave that for now, and let's straighten it out a little bit before we go any further. Maybe leave it right there, and then maybe we think we need a Fox image included. So we click File, or first we go to one of those websites and we download the image we want. In this case, I'm going to download an image of a fox. And you click File, Open, navigate to the folder where you downloaded it to. In this case, it is the Downloads folder. Look for the image of your fox. For me, it's this one. And once again, it opens it up in a new tab. We want to click on this pointer tool. Actually, before we drag it, we can go ahead and paint him white. Then click on him, drag him over here, and drop him. Kind of looks like a wolf, but for this example, I think it'll work. And maybe we expand him out a little bit, stick him right there, and you know, I don't really like the way it's overlaying the words, So I'm probably going to stick him underneath the text layer. And then I'm probably going to change the opacity a little bit. That way it doesn't stand out quite as much. Maybe just a little bit. And something else I haven't showed you guys yet is sometimes you can leave the opacity at 100% and change the layer style. And what I mean by that is right now it's set to normal. There's all kinds of different styles. We have dissolve. We have, let's say, just overlay. Screen. Hard light. And it doesn't do very much for just strictly black and white images, but if you were to use other colors, this would stand out a lot more. But for this instance, it doesn't seem like any of these different options, and right now I clicked on here and I'm pressing the down arrow key to see if it gives me the effect I want. But at least for this one, you can see it's called difference. This is above the no fox layer, but it still looks like it's going underneath it. And that's just because that's what difference does. So for now, we're just gonna maybe leave him down here. Set this back to normal since it looks really just about the same. And maybe we wanted to add a cool little filter to this fox. So we click on filter. And look at all these options we have. We have blur, we can do field blur, motion blur, lens blur, and I'm not going to go through every single one of these options. These are things you just have to kind of play around with and see if they make sense for your particular design. But one of the ones I like to do is called render. You click render, then click fibers, and then usually I just go the default, but if you want to play around with it you can, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So it renders these little fiber strings through it. And I believe it's rendering blue because I had this blue selected here. But if I do black, let's try it again. Filter, render, fibers, black, like I said. Now we have black. So cool, that's a really neat design. Since this wolf layer, or the fox layer is above our text, we can't see our text. So I'm going to drag the fox layer above it so we can read our text. And now we can see our wolf. The fox still stands out a little bit too much, a little bit more than I would like it to. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the fox layer a little bit bigger. And I'm going to change this from normal to overlay. You're sure before they understand the image. So if I say no fox given, obviously that's a pun, it's a play on words. It's no, what, given. But if they say the fox, it makes it stand out a little bit more. Now, which of the two t-shirts, I'm not saying this is a good design, because this is not. This is just a very quick example of how to add some neat features to your design. So would you rather buy a shirt? And, one thing I haven't pointed out. So when you're trying to evaluate what the design is going to end up looking like, how do we get rid of this stupid, annoying box here? Well, we need to deselect. So there is a shortcut. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but if you're stuck on, let's say, this layer, and if you press Control-T, you can always do the free transform tool. You can just click on another tool or click on another layer, and it kind of gives you a better example of what your image is going to look like. And you can do the same thing with your text layer. So right now we have the fibers rendered for the silhouette wolf, fox, but if you click on the text layer, you can do the same. Filter, pixelate, maybe we want to, let's make it mosaic. Sure, click OK. I don't know what that means, but so it didn't do much. So we'll do Control-Alt-Z To go backwards, you can also click Edit, Step Backward, Alt Control Z, exactly what I just said. And let's try a new filter. Filter, maybe we want to, let's see, render some clouds. So, like I said, that's how you kind of create some different image layers or filters for a specific layer. Now, if you were to click a different layer, a little wave, or you can do like an underside arch, it just depends on whatever settings you initially chose. Let's say maybe you don't want to do fibers, maybe you want to do clouds, and I haven't showed you what clouds are yet, but clouds are essentially, they look like little clouds inside here. I'll have another tutorial video on how to do cool things like that, but for this one I just wanted to show you how to manipulate your standard horizontal text and how to manipulate your silhouettes and vectors that you've already added to your t-shirts to make them stand out a little bit more in comparison to some of your competition. So I hope that helped you guys out a little bit. I'm sorry for some of the errors, that I displayed on there. I've learned a little bit about Photoshop, but there's lots more I can learn, and I hope it helps you guys out and become a better merch artist. And good luck, guys. Thanks again. Bye.